everybody, I'm Mackenzie Carr, Miss Rodeo America, and you're watching Colorado Sports Connection.
Hello everybody and welcome to Colorado Sports Connection. Well, it's January and that means one thing. The National Western Stock Show and Rodeo is in town, and it means another thing. We have a very special guest. We talk about talented and beauty. We have Miss Rodeo America 2012, Mackenzie Carr, all the way from the National Western Stock Show and Rodeo, visiting with us right here at Big Bill's New York Pizza. Mackenzie, first of all, congratulations.
Thank you.
On winning, Miss Rodeo America. Thank you for coming down to Big Bill's New York Pizza.
Oh, this is great.
One of the questions I want to ask you before we get started on how you won and about the rodeo is your background, where you're from.
I'm from a very small town up north in Oregon. It's big timber industry up where I come from. The small town is called Vernonia. I'm actually only one of 4 people in the whole town that are involved with rodeo. Everybody else works in the woods and cuts down timber.
Now, is this your first time here in Denver for the National Western?
No, I attended last year as Miss Rodeo Oregon. I was only here mainly during the big WISA market that's going on in downtown Denver. But this time I'm here for the full 3 weeks of the stock show.
So, 2 things here. Tell us a little bit what you think about Denver and the stock show and rodeo.
I love it here because the sun shines, which is a rare thing that we don't really see in Oregon a lot. And the stock show is so much fun. The people that work with the rodeo and the stock contractors are just a joy to be around. Everybody's really willing to help each other out and make the show the best it can be.
Now, you have a lot of responsibility while you're here in Denver for the stock show and rodeo and as Miss Rodeo America. Now, tell us how long you're going to be in town and what your schedule's like.
Well, like I said, I'll be here for the full 3 weeks. I've already been here a week already. Starting tomorrow, I start attending the WISA market, and I'm there primarily the whole time meeting with sponsors, Wrangler, Montana Silversmith, Justin Boots, Bailey Hats. And then I will be bouncing back and forth between the stock show as well. I'll be there some days for all 3 performances, sometimes only for 1. But my job at the stock show is to, obviously I pack the American flag at the opening ceremonies, but then I'll also help promote the sponsors by packing sponsor flags. I help the little kids in the mutton busting where they ride the sheep, and just basically lend a hand wherever it's needed. Now,
I was reading in one of the reports that while you're here as well, you go to a variety of schools and children's hospital. Talk about that experience for us.
Yesterday we visited a school, kindergarten age. We also had some preschoolers in there and just kind of talked to them about the states that we're from. I myself went, and then 3 other state visiting royalty queens went. And then we also visited the children's hospital, and basically our job was just to go in, talk with them, make sure they were having a good day, and kind of put a smile on their face to brighten their day a little bit.
Now, when you're working with these kids, you never know what happens when you're working with kids.
Right.
Any type of questions that you can share with us that that you'll always remember?
Well, I was talking with some kids last year when I was in Florida, and this one little girl, just as innocent as could be, said, "Are there going to be porcupines at the rodeo?" And I just started laughing. "No, sweetheart, there won't be porcupines, but if you see one, come find us." So, the kids really do say the darndest things.
Now, when you're working with these kids and talk a little bit about, especially when you go to children's hospital, what does that mean to you personally, and how, and if in any way how it affects you?
It's kind of hard to go into children's hospitals because you feel really bad for the state that these kids are in physically. But I kind of look at it like Patch Adams, the movie, where his job was to go in and just put a smile on their face and make them laugh and be the highlight of their day. And I try and take that mentality, put my own emotions and feelings aside, and really focus on the kids and how they're feeling when we come into the room.
I look back when I was a kid and I was asking, my favorite athletes for their autographs, and here I am looking at you now. You're a role model. For the rest of your life, you're going to be a role model. And I can remember when I got my first autograph, from my favorite players. How serious do you take the responsibility of being a role model?
Oh, I take that so seriously. There are so many little children that are looking up to you, as well as other local rodeo queens. I was talking with one yesterday, and she said, "I'm so honored that you accepted my Facebook friend request." And it never really hit home that, you know, I'm that important to all of these people. I just feel like regular old Mackenzie, but I always try and set a great example, something that I would want to follow, and leave a legacy that I would be proud of.
Are you big on Facebook? I mean,
Yes.
if people out there want to, you know, like your page, what can they do? Where would they go?
Well, there's a Miss Rodeo America webpage. It's on Facebook, and you can like the webpage, or I have my own personal Facebook that you can become friends with me if you would like to.
Well, we're going to take a quick break, but when we come back, what we're going to do is we're going to talk with Mackenzie and find out how one becomes Miss Rodeo America. We'll be right back after these messages right here on Colorado Sports Connection.
Buying a shoe can be a tricky experience, but that's why we're here at Dick's Sporting Goods with our very own footwear specialist, John, and he's going to tell us how to purchase your perfect shoe.
3 things that you need to know when buying that perfect shoe is your foot length, so we need to get you measured up for the foot fitting, foot length, arch length, as well as the width, the dynamic of your foot, so do you overpronate or do you supinate, and then what kind of activity you're looking to use the shoe for. Best time to try on shoes is probably midday, whenever that is for you, whenever you've been on the foot for the most part of the day. But what's important to know is you will want to alternate your shoes, because in each shoe in the foam there's little air bubbles that you will want to recondition, and it's called reconditioning your shoe.
When you purchase your next athletic shoe, make sure you visit your local Dick's Sporting Goods so you can find your own footwear specialist to help you find your perfect shoe.
Welcome back to Colorado Sports Connection. We're talking with Miss Rodeo America 2012, Mackenzie Carr, and we're going to find out from Mackenzie when this all started. When did this goal all come about?
Well, I attained my first rodeo queen title when I was 16, and I had no idea that I would be in the position that I am today. I just wanted to try it for the heck of it. All my friends were trying out for the local rodeo queen pageant, and my mom kind of pushed me in that direction and said, "It'll be good for you, bring you out of your shell," because I was so shy as a young kid. And I was hooked. I loved the rodeo atmosphere, the people that are involved with rodeo. And I mean, it just kind of evolved from there, went on to a few other queen titles, won Miss Rodeo Oregon, and then now I'm sitting here today as Miss Rodeo America.
You know, you talk about being shy, and it amazes me how many people I talk to that are in the spotlight, they say, "I was always a shy person," but here you are in one of the most glamorous spots you can have in rodeo, and are you overcoming the shyness? And if you did, how'd you do it?
Well, I overcame it when I was 16. I was so shy I could not talk to people one-on-one. I could get up on a stage and perform, but I couldn't have a conversation with someone I didn't know. And in my first rodeo queen title, my boss, my coordinator, said, "Suck it up and go do it." You know, she kind of forced me to do it, and that push from her helped me to really overcome my shyness.
Now, question here from a novice that, you know, follows the beauty pageants. Okay, it's more obviously than looking good and having a nice smile. A lot of hard work goes into this. Talk a little bit about that and, you know, what it takes.
Well, because we represent not only a sport, we represent a lifestyle that a lot of people are uneducated about. So they expect us to have a wealth of knowledge on the Western industry as well as the rodeo world, including rules on rodeo. In fact, rodeo queens probably know a lot more rules than many cowboys who are starting out. So our job is to communicate that with the public, to teach them about the sport that we love and the life that we live.
You know, we were talking about that earlier on the knowledge that you have to have because you know more about the events than the cowboys themselves. Now, we were also talking about the categories that one has to go through to become Miss Rodeo America. Can you talk a little bit about those categories for us?
Yes, throughout the 8-day pageant that I competed in Las Vegas for Miss Rodeo America, we were judged on our knowledge of the sport of rodeo as well as the Western industry. That also included equine science knowledge, so we need to know about the horses that we're riding. It also included appearance, our physical appearance. They want to make sure that we carry ourselves well and that we are always looking professional in every situation. Our personality, they want to make sure, of course, we're nice and pleasant and easy to talk to. Our speaking ability, we had to publicly speak at multiple events throughout the pageant. We had to give a state speech of 2 minutes, and then we also had to answer multiple impromptu questions. And then we also had to ride 2 horses that we've never ridden in our entire lives. Hopped on them, no warm-up time, didn't get to watch them be warmed up. Basically got on and they adjusted our stirrups and we were going.
You know, we'll get back talking about the horses and some of these categories you just mentioned, but I'm sitting here and I'm listening to what you're saying here, and you know, all the time and dedication that it takes. And then on top of that, you were also going to school through all this. So how did you discipline yourself with your time?
I was attending a community college the first half of my Miss Rodeo Oregon year, part-time, online, and it was tough. I mean, I was up till 3 in the morning submitting my homework, and I decided not to do that again this year because it was so time-consuming. But really, I set out a schedule, stuck to it, focused on preparing for Miss Rodeo America, and obviously the end result was a good one.
Now, another question I do have for you, as you're approaching, you know, winning Miss Rodeo America, okay, here it is, you were crowned on December 11th? 10th. When did it all sink in that, you know what, one of my goals came true?
It really didn't hit me till down here, and I spent 3 weeks at home after I won, and I kept telling everybody it's going to hit me like a ton of bricks when it does, and it didn't hit me until I was carrying the American flag in the arena and Boyd said Miss Rodeo America, Mackenzie Carr. It's like, wow, you know, this is big, and I'm so thankful to be where I am today, and just I'm so blessed that I've accomplished such a feat.
You know, we're going to take a quick break, but when we come back, I also want to talk about the journey that you had to becoming Miss Rodeo America. We'll be right back with Mackenzie Carr, Miss Rodeo America 2012, right here on Colorado Sports Connection. Welcome back to Colorado Sports Connection. We're coming to you from Big Bill's New York Pizza, and we're talking with Miss Rodeo America, Mackenzie Carr. Now, Mackenzie, nobody achieves their goals by themselves. So along this journey, tell us about the people that have been very influential to you.
Well, trying out for Miss Rodeo America, I really feel like I had the whole state of Oregon behind me. My town that I live in is very small. It's only about 1,500 people. And not only did I have their support, I had the support of many rodeo committees throughout the state of Oregon, as well as the Miss Rodeo Oregon organization themselves. And the people that helped me prepare, my coordinator Lynn and her husband Jim, were just so instrumental in helping me get ready for the pageant and getting me sent down there to compete.
So when these people are helping you, and now you have people coming from all over the place congratulating you. So what's going through your mind? Because now I'm sure for a month now you've heard people tell you congratulations, congratulations. Well, every state you go to now, these rodeos, you're going to keep hearing the same thing.
Exactly.
So what goes through your mind when being congratulated?
It's humbling to feel that support from all of these people. I don't know how many times people have said, we knew you were going to do it. Well, I'm glad you did. That's kind of how I feel. But it is. It's truly humbling to know that I have that amount of support behind me. And
you become Miss Rodeo America. Now, when you talk with a lot of these celebrities, when their stock rises, they have to change their phone number, they have to change their Facebook pages. What changes have you made since becoming Miss Rodeo America?
Not a whole lot. People in the rodeo world are really genuine. They're not going to do anything to hurt you personally, to hurt your image. And so obviously I'm taking precautions. I'm not giving out my home address, regularly, but not a whole lot. Obviously I won't be sleeping in my bed as much being Miss Rodeo America, but nothing too major. I'm just still regular Mackenzie.
Do you remember, going back watching, TV and everything, do you remember the show, The Dating Game?
Yes.
Okay. Well, we're going to do a little bit like that right here, and we're going to ask you a few questions. We're going to ask Miss Rodeo America, so if somebody has the guts enough to ask, you on a date, find out what kind of person you are. So let's start out with, our contestant number one, Mackenzie Carr, and if we want to go on a date with Mackenzie Carr, we're going to find out what she likes and her dislikes. So first question for you, if somebody were going to take you to a movie, what type of movies do you like, and name your top 3 movies of all time?
Well, I am such a sissy. I hate scary movies. I'm a big sissy when it comes to scary movies, so take me to something funny.
So let me write this down. I'm not going to take you to see Alien.
No,
okay.
No. Something funny is always good. Not a big action movie fan. I love comedies. My favorite movie of all time, strangely enough, is Silence of the Lambs. Even though that one can be viewed by some people as scary, I love the thriller aspect of it. My second favorite movie is Forrest Gump, and then of course Good Morning Vietnam with Robin Williams.
Some great movies
Yes.
there. Okay. One recommendation I would make that you have to see, Tombstone.
Oh, yes.
Great
Yep.
movie.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Somebody wants to take Mackenzie Carr out to dinner now.
Mm-hmm.
So what type of restaurants do you like, and tell us about your favorite foods?
You know, I'm really easygoing. The only foods that I'm not big on are fish. So anywhere is good for me. I guess you call it cheap date. My favorite food is spaghetti. So you don't have to wine and dine me, but you know, it would be nice to sit down at a decent restaurant and have a good meal with someone.
You know, we're here at Big Bill's, and you know, not only do they have great pizza, but they got great spaghetti.
Mm-hmm.
Now, do you enjoy cooking?
I do. I love to cook. I've been cooking for a very long time. I'm a baker, and I baked my first pie when I was 10, and that's one of my favorite foods to bake is pie. I make a mean apple pie.
Okay, here you are following the sport of rodeo. What other sports did you participate in, and what sports do you enjoy watching?
In high school, I was an avid volleyball player. I played all 4 years on the school team, 3-year varsity letterman, and I also played year-round on a traveling club team. We traveled to Reno, Las Vegas, San Francisco. We traveled all over the country playing at volleyball tournaments, and I love to watch college volleyball. I mean, it's so fascinating for me. But really, that was my main sport in high school. I also rode on the equestrian team where I competed in Western and English riding. I also did some team penning, ran some barrels, but for the most part, I was a volleyball player.
All right, let's get to that most important question now. The guys. Okay, what do you look for in a guy? You know, what type of personality must they have?
Well, my number one rule is they have to be honest. Honesty is huge for me, and they have to be funny. I mean, I love a good sense of humor, so they have to be honest, have a good sense of humor, and someone who's humble is always greatly appreciated. You know, nobody likes to kind of be around someone who's too full of themselves. So those are my 3 big ones.
Okay, speaking of funny guys, comedian, favorite comedian?
Oh, wow. You know, Robin Williams. Robin Williams and Jeff Foxworthy, honestly. I love Jeff Foxworthy. He just cracks me up.
Well, guys, that's all I can give you on, you know, helping you out if you want to date with Mackenzie Carr. But I do have a question for you on this one. You know, there are all these guys out there watching. Are you currently dating someone right now?
No, I'm single. You know, I don't really have time for a boyfriend. And honestly, right now where I'm at in my life, my own personal goals and my horses are kind of number one on my priority list.
Okay, speaking of horses, let's go to your favorite topic right now. Okay, you were talking earlier in the show about a category, horsemanship. Mm-hmm. Can you explain to the audience out there exactly what that all entails?
Well, at the Miss Rodeo America pageant, we ride 2 horses, like I said, that we've never ridden before. We do 2 patterns. One is a set pattern. Everyone rides the same pattern on their horse. It involves circles, some lead changes, stops, backing, turns. And then on our second horse, which we have also never ridden, we have to do what's called a freestyle pattern. We are given 1.5 minutes to do a pattern, which also has to include a queen's presentation run or an arena run. So basically we have 1 minute to show off our skills on this horse. You can come up with whatever you want. Some girls go down there with one planned in their mind already. Some kind of fly by the seat of their pants depending on the horse that they drew. I myself plan something out. I'm a planner. I have to have something in mind ahead of time, and went down there, got on this really stocky little guy, and went out and just rode my heart out like I always do, and kind of just went for it. Once in a lifetime opportunity, so why not leave it all out on the table?
And what about some of the other categories that you had to go through?
Well, the speech category, like I said, we had to give a 2-minute speech on our home state, and also, let's see, knowledge. We had to take a written test on PRCA rules, Miss Rodeo America rules, and there was some nitty-gritty stuff on there. I mean, they expected us to know the dimensions of a bareback rigging.
I'm looking, I'm thinking, who would know that?
Right.
I mean,
right.
you look at these guys in sports, I don't even, especially baseball players, I don't even know if they know the dimensions of their own baseball bat. If it feels good, let's use it.
Exactly.
Okay. Now, one of the things I'd like to do, and we talked about this earlier, is if you would not mind sharing with the audience out there the speech that you gave over in Vegas at the National Finals Rodeo.
Yeah, sure.
Would that be all right?
That'd be fine. That'd be fine.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, we're going to have Mackenzie Carr give her speech right here on Colorado Sports Connection. Here we go, Mackenzie Carr.
With giant leaps of faith, rodeo cowboys face incredible unknowns with every ride. Will the bull jump or spin? Will the bronc rear or buck? but with every unknown must come the bravery to forge ahead. Elijah Davidson left the deer he'd just shot and headed up the hill through the brush after his dog Bruno. He heard his faithful friends barking, now muffled, a short ways ahead. He saw a stream that seemed to come out of nowhere between the rocks and the brush. Slowly, carefully creeping up, Elijah listened as Bruno's growling and barking seemed to fade into the mountain itself. And then he looked in bewilderment at the gash in the rocks and debated whether or not to enter. In the autumn of 1874, on the slopes of the Siskiyou Mountains in southern Oregon, one of my state's most unique attractions, the Oregon Caves. In the 1890s, developers first opened the caves as a commercial enterprise, but on July 12, 1909, at the urging of a few influential men, President William Taft declared the 3.5-mile marble cavern a U.S. national monument. The cave is full of stalagmites, stalactites, and breathtaking marble formations. Do you know the difference between a stalagmite and a stalactite? Well, thanks to the imagination of my elementary teacher, I'll always remember the difference. When the mites crawl up, the tights go down. You can tour the caves March through November. They are worth seeing. I can only imagine what it was like for Elijah when he realized what he had discovered. He must have been a brave and fearless man and determined to save old Bruno. Elijah was typical of the thousands of early Oregon pioneers, and just like today's rodeo cowboys who, with giant leaps of faith, step into the unknown.
Absolutely great.
Thank you.
I mean, I can barely remember my name and home address, let alone a speech like that. We're going to take a quick break, and we come back. We're going to continue our interview with Mackenzie Carr right here on Colorado Sports Connection. Welcome back to Colorado Sports Connection. We're talking with Miss Rodeo America, Mackenzie Carr. Now, one of the great goals that you achieved, you're the first individual to be crowned Miss Rodeo America from Oregon.
Yes.
Talk a little bit about that.
Well, Miss Rodeo Oregon has been in existence since 1957, and throughout those years we've had multiple top 10s and a few top 5 finishers, but we've never had someone win the title of Miss Rodeo America. So I feel so honored and blessed to be the first one from Oregon to wear the crown of Miss Rodeo America.
Now, I know, talking with you, very humble, but you're a celebrity now, and celebrities have the opportunity to meet other celebrities. So when you had this chance, who would you like to meet? And also talk about the people that you did get to meet.
Well, you know, I've been asked this question before, and I've met him a couple times before, but I would love to meet Jake Owen again. I'm a huge fan. He's a wonderful country music singer, and I would just love the opportunity to meet him again. People I've met, I actually met with Vice President Dick Cheney the other night and his wife Lynn. She was honored at the Cowgirls of the West banquet that was here in Denver, and so that was just such an honor to be able to meet those two amazing people. I also met Pete Coors, which was pretty cool to meet the owner of Coors Brewery, so that was a lot of fun as well.
Now, if you had the opportunity to say, to make a guest appearance on a comedy show, since you like, which comedy show would you pick and why?
Oh gosh, I don't know. I don't think I could narrow it down to one. Tosh.0 is always funny, and so I don't know if I'd want to appear on that though, because he typically makes fun of people, but I'd love to maybe be in the audience as a guest. I don't think I could narrow it down to just one comedy show.
Could you see yourself making a guest appearance on a show like 2.5 Men?
Oh yeah, that'd be great. That'd be so much fun.
Seeing somebody coming in with your attire and everything, I think that would be great.
That would be cool.
What about like these TV talk shows, the Jay Leno show, the David Letterman show? Any opportunities for that coming up in the near future?
I don't think so, but crazier things have happened. We'll just see what takes place.
Well, let me make a quick call to Dave and see what we can do. Now, on a more serious note, when you're talking with these kids, okay, and talking to them about goals, what's the one thing that you really want to stress to them, the importance of, of being a good person with integrity?
Well, I stress two things. First and foremost is hard work. I mean, I have worked hard for everything that I have in my life, and laziness doesn't get you anywhere. So I always encourage the kids to work hard and set their standards very high. I also encourage them to put so much emphasis into their education, stay in school, study hard, again, work hard, because in today's day and age, you have to be educated to get anywhere in life. And you know, I just think that's huge, and I always try to stress that with the kids that I come in contact with.
You know, luckily for us, with the stock show being in town for another 2.5 weeks, we're going to have the opportunity to do like a behind the scenes with Miss Rodeo America, Mackenzie Carr, you know, working with the students, talking with the rodeo fans. But as you're there at the rodeo, which is your favorite event, and do you have a favorite PRCA contestant that you enjoy watching?
You know, I'm a sucker for tie-down roping. I love the calf roping event. My favorite part about it is to watch the horses work, because it's not just the cowboy roping the calf, getting off, flanking the animal, and hog tying the 3 legs. The horse is working too, because they have to keep that rope held tight so that the cowboy can flank the calf. And I love to watch the horses work. I love to watch them pay attention to the cowboy and, you know, change their how they're backing up, move sideways to make sure that that calf will stay in the correct position so the cowboy can get a good time. The contestants that I love to watch, of course, Trevor Brazil. Everybody's always following him. $4 million cowboy, I mean, that's just huge. He's set records that have been unheard of until now, and he's always one of my favorites. But of course, you know, I have to give a shout out to my Oregon cowboy, Bobby Moat, who's been a 3-time world champion in the bareback riding, and I just love to root for my Oregon Cowboys.
You know, you talk about tie-down roping. Quickly, talk a little bit about the Cooper boys.
Well, the Cooper boys all compete in tie-down roping. I believe that at least one of them, I hope Tough, will be here at the stock show competing. It's a pretty big show, and it draws a lot of big-name cowboys. And you know, it's pretty rare to have 3 sets of brothers competing in the same event, or even relatives competing in the same event and doing as well as they have. I mean, Tough was sitting #1 all of last year, and he did really well at the NFR. So I think it's cool to see that it's a family sport and that the whole family gets involved.
You know, that was a great speech you gave about your home state, but can we get a few words about your thoughts on what you think about the city of Denver and the state of Colorado?
I love it. You know, like I said, it's nice to see the sunshine. It's something we get very rarely in Oregon, so it's great to see the sun over here. It's simply beautiful. The mountains are gorgeous. I mean, yesterday it was sunny, today it's snowing, so it's so great that the weather varies each day, and the people here have been wonderful to me, and I'm so blessed to be able to be here for the stock show.
You know, well, we're glad you're here in Colorado, and we look forward to, you know, doing a behind the scenes with Mackenzie Carr in the next couple of weeks, and we look forward to it. Congratulations on such a great honor. Very talented young lady. We wish you the best of luck, and we look forward to meeting you in the near future.
Thank you. Thank you very much.
Ladies and gentlemen, as promised, the one, the only Miss Rodeo America, Mackenzie Carr. We hope you enjoyed this show, and we'll see you next week right here on Colorado Sports Connection.
Awesome.
Thank you.
Colorado Sports Connection is brought to you by Littleton Adventist Hospital, a health system that caters to you. Big Bill's New York Pizza, a slice of life. 5-Star Burger South Glen, the way burgers were meant to be. Colorado Sports Connection would like to thank Rock Canyon High School Television for the production of this episode. Rock Canyon High School Television, doing more than just the news.